For as long as I can remember, the sea had been my siren, her mysterious depths calling out to me with a song too bewitching to resist. I became a commercial diver not just out of necessity, but out of a love for the briny deep. Little did I know that being expected to ignore government cover-ups was part of the job description. My career started like any other, assigned to conduct routine underwater maintenance for oil rigs, ship hulls, and underwater infrastructure. The days were hard, the work challenging, but there was an irresistible allure that kept me going back. But over time, the anomalies started to accumulate. On a routine job inspecting a supposedly abandoned government seafloor lab, I noticed unusual activity. Lights flickered within the derelict structure, and as I approached, I caught a glimpse of what seemed to be a fully operational base, alive and humming beneath the sea. My dives grew increasingly peculiar. There were places in the ocean we were told to avoid, designated as high-risk areas. In one such area, I saw strange machines, wholly alien to the usual submarines and ROVs. They were enormous, outfitted with peculiar devices, emitting strange luminescent patterns as if communicating through the deep. In other zones, I noticed odd distortions in the water, as if some unseen force were manipulating the currents. These phenomena couldn't be brushed off as mere tricks of light or pressure-induced hallucinations. There was an orchestrated effort by the government to keep these operations under a shroud of secrecy. Reporting these strange sightings was met with evasion and outright denial. My superiors would insist it was just the pressure getting to me or the isolation playing tricks on my mind. However, I knew something far more complex was at work. The tipping point came during a dive in the Pacific, off the coast of an unremarkable island. I stumbled upon a field of peculiar metal structures. Just as I was about to inspect them, an intimidating military submarine emerged from the dark, its lights blinding and its presence ominous. The radio in my ear crackled, and a stern voice commanded me to leave the area immediately. In that moment, I realized I was knee-deep in something I could no longer ignore. I became obsessed with uncovering the truth, delving into classified files and reaching out to former colleagues who'd left under mysterious circumstances. The revelations were staggering. Covert underwater missile sites, illegal seafloor mining, classified experiments with underwater communication technology, even hints at research involving unidentified sea creatures. It was a whole new world under the ocean surface. It was clear I was treading in dangerous waters. The deeper I dug, the greater the threats grew. Anonymous warnings turned into veiled threats, and it became evident that I had to be careful about whom I could trust. My career as a commercial diver took me into the ocean's deepest trenches, but nothing could have prepared me for the abyss of secrecy and subterfuge hidden beneath the waves. Nautical conspiracies weren't just the stuff of lore, they were real, breathing, and buried deep below. Despite the growing fear and uncertainty, I was doggedly determined to press forward. But with every new piece of evidence, the risks grew exponentially, culminating in a series of events that would change my life forever. One particularly harrowing dive took me to the heart of the Atlantic. I had traced a classified document to a specific set of coordinates that supposedly held a large deposit of precious metals. It was a hotspot for covert seabed mining. As I neared the site, my equipment began to malfunction. Alarms blared and my oxygen readings fluctuated wildly. Just when I thought I might black out, an unidentified submersible appeared, flashing a coded light sequence. The moment it arrived, my gear stabilized. It was as if they had remotely interfered with my equipment, a chilling display of their advanced capabilities. But the most terrifying event took place off the coast of an uninhabited isle in the South Pacific. Here, I came across a submerged lab where it seemed the government was studying unknown marine life forms. I had just begun to document the findings when I felt a powerful vibration rippling through the water. Turning around, I found myself face to face with a gigantic creature, its body illuminating the dark depths with an ethereal glow. Its size and appearance were unlike anything documented. As fear gripped me, a team of military divers appeared out of nowhere, forcefully guiding the creature away and gesturing me to leave immediately. The encounter was brief, but it confirmed my worst fears. There were entities in these depths beyond our understanding, and they were being hushed up. I also started noticing that I was being followed during my land-based activities. Strangers in nondescript black vehicles seemed to lurk around my home, and I'd often spot the same men at the dive shop, watching from a distance. My mail was being intercepted, and my personal computer suffered several sophisticated hacking attempts. One night, after returning from a late dive, I found my house ransacked. My secret stash of classified documents and underwater photographs was gone. It was a direct message from those who wished to keep their secrets buried beneath the ocean. The increasing threats weren't just directed at me. My family and friends started receiving anonymous calls, warning them about my investigations. I realized I had drawn my loved ones into a dangerous vortex. The government wasn't merely hiding innocent secrets. These were deep, labyrinthine revelations that could shake the foundation of what we knew about our oceans and our world. The clues I'd gathered hinted at several concealed operations. One of the most pervasive was the secret exploitation of marine resources. There was illegal seabed mining, disturbing the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. But it was not only about precious metals. Evidence suggested the clandestine extraction of rare, previously unknown elements. This hinted at potential technological advancements that were far beyond our current capabilities, possibly used to power the strange machinery I had come across in my dives. Equally concerning were the covert military operations. Underwater missile silos were just the tip of the iceberg. The cryptic submarine activity and the strategic positioning of underwater bases suggested the ocean was being turned into a clandestine battlefield. These moves could potentially escalate maritime conflicts, leading to a future where the world's oceans were arenas of war. Perhaps the most stunning was the discovery of hidden research labs, seemingly conducting illegal and unethical experiments. I found indications of potential genetic experimentation on marine life, possibly to create new bioweapons or to understand how these creatures survived in extreme conditions. It was a chilling testament to our willingness to manipulate nature for our ends. Most mind-boggling was the encounter with the glowing creature. Were they studying these unknown species, or had they created them? Either possibility was equally disturbing, promising profound but potentially catastrophic impacts on our understanding of life. The encounter with the glowing creature was a watershed moment for me, raising more questions than answers. Its luminescent body, colossal size and uncanny aura were unlike anything I'd seen in my extensive diving career. Were they studying this extraordinary entity, or had they somehow conjured it from the dark abyss? Driven by this urgent question, I used my remaining resources and contacts to dig deeper. I was drawn into a subterranean world of encrypted files, covert communications, and anonymous informants. It was a daunting maze, but I was propelled by an insatiable need to uncover the truth. What I found was far beyond my wildest speculation. According to a heavily redacted report I obtained, the government had discovered a new species of bioluminescent creatures dwelling in the ocean's greatest depths. They appeared to possess remarkable physiological traits, allowing them to survive in environments with extreme pressures and near-freezing temperatures. But there was more. These creatures were not just a remarkable find, they were the subjects of clandestine government experiments. Biotechnological studies were being conducted, possibly attempting to replicate their unique adaptations. This had significant implications. Were they trying to create a new kind of biotech fueled by these deep-sea entities? The potential benefits could be groundbreaking, yet the risks were potentially apocalyptic. Even more shocking was the mention of their unique bioluminescent communication. The patterns I'd seen on my dives, those mesmerizing light sequences, were a form of complex communication. This discovery was nothing short of revolutionary. It hinted at a form of intelligence hitherto unknown to science. Were we on the verge of communicating with a non-human entity from the deep, or was this another form of manipulation? With every revelation, the magnitude of what was hidden beneath the waves became increasingly alarming. The government's secrecy wasn't just about protecting national security or vested interests. It was about controlling the narrative of a new frontier. A frontier where nature's most remarkable creations were not only being discovered, but also manipulated, where the rules of life as we knew them were being rewritten, all shrouded in a deep, nautical silence. Having hung up my diving suit didn't mean I had given up. If anything, the things I had seen and discovered had lit a fire within me that was impossible to extinguish. I realized that it was time to change tactics and fight this battle from a new front. My first move was to reach out to environmental organizations and investigative journalists who could help expose these government secrets. I shared with them the cryptic documents, decoded messages, and underwater footage, providing as much evidence as I could gather of the illicit activities taking place beneath the waves. The revelations sent shockwaves through the media. It led to heated debates about government accountability, the rights of newly discovered species, and the ethical boundaries of scientific research. The fallout was enormous, with some supporting the exposure of these nautical conspiracies, while others decried it as a threat to national security. Despite the controversy, the veil of secrecy had been lifted. Scientists around the world clamored for a chance to study the luminescent creatures without the shadow of military intervention or secret governmental agendas. Ethicists called for the immediate cessation of any clandestine experiments, citing the potential risks to both the creatures and the larger marine ecosystem. In the wake of the revelations, there were also legal implications. Lawsuits were filed against the government agencies involved, while international bodies began deliberating on regulations for deep-sea exploration and experimentation. In the aftermath of the shocking revelations, the focus of the world quickly shifted towards the enigmatic creatures that had been discovered in the ocean's darkest corners. Their existence opened up a new chapter in our understanding of marine biology, pushing the boundaries of what we knew about life on our planet. The creatures, dubbed Luminara by the scientific community for their striking bioluminescence, were unlike any other species known to science. Their ability to survive in extreme pressures and frigid temperatures that would kill most known life forms made them a biological marvel. The Luminara were colossal, some measuring up to 60 feet in length. Their elongated bodies emitted an ethereal glow, their luminescence not merely a product of bioluminescent bacteria like in other marine species, but seemingly an integral part of their cellular structure. It was this glow that appeared to be their primary means of communication. They emitted complex patterns of light, sequences that hinted at a level of intelligence and social interaction never before seen in deep-sea creatures. Perhaps most intriguing was their regenerative ability. The Luminara could recover from injuries at a pace far exceeding any known organism. Wounds that would be lethal to most species seemed to heal within hours for them. This trait, if studied and understood, held significant potential for medical and scientific breakthroughs. This entire experience has unveiled the intersection of human curiosity, the hunger for power, and the profound enigma of life that our planet holds. The uncovering of the Luminara, an unprecedented species, challenges our understanding of life, communication, and resilience, promising extraordinary scientific advancements. At the same time, it illuminates the dangers of unchecked authority and secrecy.
That's all for now. Please leave us a comment and tell us what you think. Please also like and subscribe. Thank you.